All right, so just a couple more bits here. This is one of those stories where I have to wait and see if we have to wait and see for a bit if it comes to fruition. But there's a real concern that Big E is not drawing at all as champion. The numbers are bad, the demos are bad, the merchandise sales are bad, which is the most concerning thing because everybody gets a pass during the NFL season. Some games you look at on Monday Night Football and you think, okay, we should be doing a better number here, but it's been consistently bad, and his segments don't pull in any extra numbers at all. So there was a thought going into Mania this year where originally it was going to be Roman and Rock, and you were going to do Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, and they changed course for that once the whole decision was made on The Rock. So what you had going into Mania a couple of weeks ago is Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, and you had Big E being put over by John Cena. They're not going to do that match at the moment with the current situation that Big E is in, which is not drawing. I mean, he's been dominated by RK Bro in T-shirts, in promo photos. I mean, dominated, like 3-1. It's not even close. Your champion shouldn't be getting killed by your tag team champions, and he's being killed in every market. So
let me see this real quick. How is New Day doing?
New Day and Big E have always been factored in together. The difference between Kofi and Big E's run is that Big E had a lot more stuff prepared for it. So the Big E push has been planned since he was drafted over to SmackDown. So he has separate merchandise. He has separate merchandise into New Day now, and it's not doing well. Yeah, New Day's always been in the top 10. I don't know whether it's down to the fact they're over or whether it's down to the fact that Xavier Woods is involved in the merch. And he's creative and he's involved in it, but I don't know. But yeah, they're always in the top 10. They're doing better. When you look at the merch, it's not a case of everybody looks at these figures where they go, this guy sold the most merch, this guy sold the second most merch. I remember when I was on Russo Show with you and I told you that Bray Wyatt had 36 items of merchandise at one point and was selling loads and loads of every single one. And Roman Reigns, who was a babyface at the time, had about 200 plus pieces, and he in terms of quantity was the number one merchandise seller. But when you were looking at Bray Wyatt, the Fiend at the time, and him having less merchandise and the amount of sales he was doing per unit, he was considered unofficially to be the best merchandise seller. The best merchandise seller internally is the guy where you're looking at your team and going, we need to make a load of stuff for this guy quickly. He can't have 10 pieces, he needs 30 pieces, 40 pieces. He needs baseball caps, hats, like gimmicks. That's how it's done internally. So when Roman was number one, he was a false number one. So with the New Day, it's going to be always up there because they got everything like possible that you can have, from lanyards to bottle openers to caps, t-shirts, everything.
Well, I think maybe the reason that he's doing poorly is because people still look at him as the third leg of New Day. I mean, they haven't really like positioned him, as like a solo competitor.
You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of a guy that you liked. You wanted to see him win the championship. Then once he kind of won the championship, you're like, kind of like Cowboy, whatever his name is, Adam Page.
Adam Page, yeah.
Like when I saw him yesterday in AEW, I was like, bro, the champion should be Bryan Danielson, not this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was cool, the journey that you won, you deserve it, but I don't think you should be the world champion. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think that's how I kind of see Big E. Like, the
old saying, and Paul Heyman had Chris Benoit say this on an ECW show years ago, right? And it's true. The belt doesn't make the wrestler. The wrestler makes the belt. The strength of the guy holding the belt determines the strength of the championship. And like right now, it's like Big E is just kind of like a very ambiguous, confusing character in the way he talks. He's kind of like, he's doing when he was doing the thing with
the preacher thing.
When he's watching, when he was watching the screen last week, and he's doing notes, and he's like scribbling the notes real fast, like over the top, like comedic, like it's like the guy's like in and out of being comedic and being serious, and it's like it's just there's no consistency there. You know what I'm saying? It's like when the guy talks tough, he comes across a serious character. He very rarely talks tough. He talks still kind of like his preacher gimmick and tries to be funny and stuff, and it's just not, he doesn't have other guys to play. He didn't have the other two characters to to play off of and stuff is by himself, and it's just like I just don't think people are looking at a guy like that and thinking like, why is he the champion instead of Bobby Lashley? Right. Well, Bobby Lashley looks like this guy should have the belt, and I think he's going to beat him too. I think and Bobby's getting a good reaction for that. And I like you said, if Big E's not drawing, you can definitely see is like, okay, we need to get this thing back on Bobby because he brings he elevates the championship. If he had it, and I think that's the way kind of like the fans are looking at it. I don't, maybe I don't know. What do you guys think?
Let me ask you a side question, just quickly. You've had interactions with Tony Khan. Right. So, do you feel like the world title picture there is kind of a case of they have a group of people where they want to get it to, and people are promised you're going to chase it and you're going to have your turn to run because all the runs there have been 6 months, 1 year. And I imagine Adam Page automatically, if you look at the way that they booked, is going to get 6 months whether he's over or not. Do you think this guy with limited experience in the industry will have the guts to make the change? Look at the grain and see that Brian is really hot. I should make a change here. Or do you think he's going to be like, nope, I decided to do this. My company is going to be all the champions get X long as champions. This long as champions.
I don't know. It's hard to figure Tony out because when you talk to him, he's very intelligent. And then sometimes when I see some of the stuff that happens, he makes rookie mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I would think that he understands and he sees how hot Danielson is and he would put the title on him. I do think that.
Right. Okay.